So the NBA just confused the hell out of everybody on Twitter by announcing new All-Star Game rules. Now, the heart of this is great. It's to honor Kobe. But do we have to honor Kobe by making the All-Star Game really confusing? I mean, I think the ways to honor Kobe are have one team wear 24, have the other one wear number 8, which is something that's been brought up a bit on the internet. You have something Kobe related on the court. You can have some Kobe stitching on jerseys. And then, of course, just constant Kobe things throughout the game, you know? Interviews and various video packages for the guy and the moment of silence, of course, before the game. And, like, that's the stuff you need. But I don't know if you need to change the actual game itself to get to that point, you know what I mean? Now, we should also mention that they're going to use, like, the teams that win each of the quarters before the fourth quarter as a way to send money to charity. That's great. I love that. But again, I feel like we could have done that in ways without changing up the game this much. I mean, the actual rules of this are basically first 3 quarters, teams start at 0 points. And then the team that wins that quarter gets like $100,000 or something to a charity of their choosing. Great. And then in the fourth quarter, you take the cumulative scores of the first 3 quarters, and whichever team has the most points between both teams, you add 24 points to their total score, and then that number is the number that both teams have to reach in order to win the game. And of course, the team that's winning has an easier time. Now, if the game's tied, then it's, you know, neck and neck. It's just, is it necessary? The 24 is, of course, because of Kobe, and then there's no timer in the fourth quarter. It's like, do we need all that? I don't really think so. I think the best way to honor Kobe, besides, you know, the things I and everybody on the internet has mentioned already, is playing the game and putting on as big of a show as you can, you know? I mean, I know the All-Star Game is not as big now as it was however many years ago, when not everybody in the country or in the world can watch whatever team they wanted to watch at any time. So it was kind of like the couple times a year you got to watch like Magic Johnson or whatever. But it doesn't mean that the show cannot still be a good time. And I guess the hope that the NBA has here is that the fourth quarter can be really close, because, you know, both teams are going to be trying to score 20-something points. I mean, for one team it'll be 24, the other one it might be like 28 or something. And maybe that could get really close in the last couple of possessions, but did we need that again? Like, I don't know, maybe the NBA is just hoping that this will force the game to be close, and then as a result, it'll make the fourth quarter more entertaining. But it seems like these teams, you know, used to be East and West, now it's effectively LeBron and Giannis. These teams have always kind of had the unwritten rule of, we're going to coast for 3 quarters and keep it relatively close, and then we're going to go for it in the fourth, right? And again, did we need a whole rule change in order for that to be a thing? I don't know. Now, one potential thing with this is it'll probably make the game shorter, because it's not going to be hard for an all-star team to score 24 points. So that's cool. Personally, I think for the All-Star Game, we should have 10-minute quarters, and we should have a running clock until the last, like, 3 minutes of each quarter or something. Maybe, like, the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or something. Because I don't think the All-Star Game needs to be, like, 2.5 hours long, like a regular basketball game is. But again, was this necessary? Was it necessary to make these confusing rules? I don't think so. I think honoring Kobe can and will be done in many ways other than this, and I think those ways will probably be enough. And there's definitely ways that you could send out various amounts of money to different types of charities without having to make the rules of the All-Star Game as confusing as this now is. I mean, I understand what it all means, but it's like, I'm still kind of forgetting, like, as I'm talking about it, so yeah, I don't know. This one by the NBA, perhaps trying a little too hard. I mean, their heart is in the right place, that's great, but the execution is a little little convoluted is the best way to put it.